Hi Junior Giants, are you ready to talk about illusions? Illusions are an everyday part of our world, so let's discuss some simple ones and I'll give you a couple more detailed ones later on. This content is most suited for ages 10 and up. Take a look at this. There's only two-dimensional lines in the figure, but our brains want to connect it to things we already know, so we perceive this shape to be 3D even though we objectively see 2D lines, especially because it has a shadow. This applies to other things as well. Say I drew 3 circles with a piece taken out. When I place them in a certain formation, your brain sees an invisible triangle made up by the slices taken out. Your brain knows that if part of the circles are hidden, there must be something in the way, so it connects the dots. Here's another one. If I draw 2 lines of the same length and add arrows facing inward on one and outward on the other, which line is longer? The lines are still the same, but the arrows make the top line look farther away and the bottom line look closer, so the difference in depth makes the top line look longer. Let's look at one more simple illusion. Here are 2 circles with diameters of 2 units. If I draw small circles around one and large circles around the other, the one with small circles seems bigger because our minds want to compare the circles to their surroundings or context. Alright, I know you're up to the challenge of drawing more complicated shapes, so let's get started. These are all the materials I used while exploring these illusions, but you really only need a dark marker and a ruler and compass if you like. For the first image, let's draw a 3D figure. Since one end is smaller than the other, we compare it to real life and assume that the smaller end is farther away and the larger end is closer. The shadows and shading add to the effect, and are common ways to add the illusion of depth in pieces of art. You can also cut out the shape to trick your brain even further. For our next illusion, draw a circle and mark out 6 evenly spaced points along the circle, connecting them with lines to form a hexagon. The next hexagon will connect 6 points along the hexagon you just drew, but just to the left of each point on the original hexagon. Continue this pattern for each hexagon until you get to the center. Your brain should group each part of the spiral together and perceive the entire image to be similar to the shutter of a camera or a rose, which you've probably seen in real life. You can add some shading to make it more realistic. Here's our last illusion. We're going to split our circle into 8 parts and use triangles instead. Connect the top corner of the slice to just right of the bottom corner to just right of the left-hand corner. Keep repeating this, shifting the triangle corners to the right of the previous triangle's corners. For the next pie slice, switch to the direction that your triangles go in. With the next pie slice, do the same thing that you did for the first slice and keep switching for each section. When you're done, your brain should try to group parts of the image it sees together and use continuity like we talked about earlier to create distinctly grouped parts of the image overlapping over each other. The triangles almost seem to disappear. Weren't those cool? To review, our brains try to see images as continuous and group similar objects together in order to simplify images we see and fit them with previous images we've seen in real life, which gives them meaning and real-life context. Here are some of the illusions we discussed that are great examples of these concepts, and there are so many more out there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to go out and have your own scientific adventures, because you never know what you'll find. And go Junior Giants!